Hey, drama lovers. Welcome to True Life Stories. Before we dive into today's jaw dropping tale, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated with our most shocking real life stories. Today's story is one of betrayal, heartbreak, and ultimate revenge. Imagine discovering that the person you trusted most was hiding a double life and then turning that pain into power. This is the story of how I uncovered my wife's lies, exposed her betrayal, and rebuilt my life from the ashes. Stick around because you won't believe how this ends. My name is David, and for most of my life, I thought I had everything figured out. I married my college sweetheart, Sarah, when we were both 26. We had what seemed like the perfect marriage, at least from the outside. We bought a cozy home in the suburbs, built successful careers, and even talked about starting a family someday. For 8 years, I believed we were unshakable. Sarah was everything I thought I wanted in a partner: smart, beautiful, and driven. She worked as a marketing manager at a prestigious firm while I ran my own small tech consulting business. We supported each other through thick and thin, or so I thought. But looking back now, there were signs. Little things that didn't seem important at the time, but now stand out like flashing red lights. The way she'd suddenly become glued to her phone late at night, or how she started dressing up more often for work meetings. At first, I chalked it up to her being busy or wanting to look professional for her clients. But deep down, something didn't feel right. It all started with a feeling, a cold whisper at the back of my neck that something wasn't right. Sarah had always been attentive and affectionate, but over the past few months, she'd grown distant. She was always glued to her phone, laughing at texts she wouldn't share. She started working late more often than usual and suddenly paying more attention to her appearance in ways she hadn't before. When I asked her about it, she brushed it off with casual excuses. I'm just trying to feel good about myself, or work has been so stressful lately. I wanted to believe her. I really did. But the nagging feeling in my gut wouldn't go away. Then came the night I found the receipt. IT was crumpled up in her purse beneath an old lip balm and a half-eaten granola bar. A receipt for an expensive dinner at a romantic restaurant downtown, a place neither of us had ever been to before. When I asked her about it, she stammered something about a work meeting and quickly changed the subject. Her eyes darted to the floor like a guilty child caught in a lie that I could have exploded right then and there, demanded answers. But something inside me told me to wait. If I confronted her too soon, she'd deny everything and make me feel like a fool. So instead, I decided to gather proof. Over the next few weeks, I became a detective in my own marriage. It started small, keeping an eye on her phone when she wasn't looking. She'd grown protective of it lately, always angling the screen away from me or setting it face down on the table. It wasn't long before I noticed a pattern. Text from an unsaved number popping up at all hours of the day and night. Sometimes just simple messages like "can't wait to see you" or "missed you today." My stomach churned every time I saw them. Point one night while Sarah was in the shower, I unlocked her phone using the passcode I'd memorized weeks ago. My hand shook as I opened her messages, and there it was in black and white, a conversation with someone named Ethan. Ethan wasn't just some coworker or friend. He was someone who sent messages like, "I love the way you laugh," and "when can I see you again?" And Sarah's responses? They made me sick. "I miss you so much. You make me feel alive. I can't wait for our next lunch date." I thought about confronting her right then and there, storming into the bathroom and demanding an explanation, but something stopped me. A part of me wanted more than just answers. I wanted justice. That I decided to wait and plan my revenge carefully. Sarah had been working on a big project at her marketing firm, something she'd been bragging about for weeks. It involved landing a major client that would be a huge win for her career. She was scheduled to give a presentation at their office downtown, a moment she'd been preparing for tirelessly. The morning of her presentation, I kissed her goodbye as usual and wished her luck. She smiled at me, a smile that now felt fake, and left for work without suspecting a thing. As soon as she was out the door, I sprang into action that I went straight to a florist and ordered an elegant bouquet of flowers. But instead of including a romantic note, I attached printed screenshots of her text conversations with Ethan along with a simple handwritten message. Asterisk, you're not as clever as you think you are. Asterisk, by noon, I was parked outside the client's office building watching through the window as Sarah stood at the front of the room giving her presentation. She looked confident and composed in her sleek black dress, the perfect professional image. But that image didn't last long. When the delivery driver arrived with the bouquet, he walked straight into the conference room where Sarah was presenting. She paused mid-sentence as he handed her the flowers with a polite smile. Tea first. She looked confused but quickly recovered, probably expecting them to be from me as some kind of supportive gesture. But as soon as she opened the envelope and saw what was inside, chaos erupted. Her face turned pale as she flipped through the screenshots with trembling hands. The room fell silent as everyone stared at her in confusion, and then suspicion as she tried desperately to explain herself. Sarah's career took an immediate hit after that disastrous presentation. The client pulled out of negotiations entirely, citing unprofessional behavior as their reason for backing out. But that wasn't enough for me. I wanted Ethan to face consequences too. I did some digging and found out he was married with 2 kids, a fact Sarah conveniently forgot to mention during their little affair. So I sent copies of their messages and photos directly to his wife, along with an anonymous note explaining everything. The fallout was swift. Ethan's wife filed for divorce within days, while his employer launched an internal investigation that ultimately cost him his job for me. Walking away from Sarah wasn't easy, but it was necessary. The divorce process was messy, but ultimately freeing. Once everything was finalized, I focused on rebuilding my life one step at a time. Starting with therapy to work through all the anger and betrayal I felt, that I also reconnected with old friends who reminded me what real support looks like, and eventually found myself rediscovering hobbies like hiking and photography that brought me genuine joy again. Wasn't until 2 years later that love found its way back into my life. This time with someone who truly deserved it. Her name was Emma, a kind-hearted woman who shared my love for adventure and honesty above all else. Our relationship started slowly, but grew into something beautiful over time. A partnership built on trust rather than lies, respect rather than manipulation, love rather than convenience. Today, we're happily married with 2 beautiful children who remind us every day what unconditional love truly looks like. And looking back now, losing Sarah was one of the best things that ever happened to me because it led me here to this life filled with happiness beyond anything I could have imagined before. Wow. One incredible journey from heartbreak to redemption. If this story inspired you or resonated with your own experiences, don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who might need encouragement right now. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another jaw-dropping tale here on True Life Stories. Until next time, stay strong. And remember, sometimes losing someone is exactly what sets you free.